Good morning, everyone. So yesterday we discussed about hardening part on F5, plus we discussed about CLI. In that, there are few settings which you need to understand more. Then we'll start with HA. So first thing which I need to tell you is when we talk about device hardening, you need to understand hardening. What does hardening means? So in hardening means that your box should be properly hardened so that no vulnerability is reported at box level. And in every company, you need to hardening firewalls, load balancers, switches, and everything. So you need to understand this, how to configure NTP, how to configure login banners, what is idle timeout, how to configure SMTP. SMTP is not necessary, but monitoring integration you need to understand. If you want to restrict HTTPS connection, how to restrict that. You want to allow SSH from particular subnets, you want to see that. So there comes your hardening part. Then user roles and admins will also cover, where you need to understand, let's say you have L1, L2, L3 engineer, you want to configure device level restriction. That also will understand. So when I talk about hardening part, it is the configuration settings related to admin. For general, it is not for application traffic. That first you need to understand. And then we will see how to open an F5 case. So yesterday we also seen different types of files. We can restrict TMSH. Port lockdown also it comes here in hardening part. And this you have to configure before deploying F5 into production environment because that is critical. Now, when I say that what type of hardening comes into picture is, let's start with NTP configuration. NTP, guys, is required for network time protocol. Basically, you want to see logs related to particular date and time. So if you don't configure NTP, you will not come to know what is the date, what is the time going on. So you have to synchronize with NTP server. F5 should be synchronized with either global NTP or your company NTP servers. How to configure that? Let's see. And it is required, it is a must setting, guys. Without it, your HA configuration also does not work. So let's see this first, then we'll talk about further things. So when you go open, I am also ready with my HA lab. I hope you also, some people, if not, then no problems, you can do it later on. But I have configured two boxes already with two license key. Now, when I talk about NTP, all NTP related configuration is configured here in System tab, Configuration Device NTP. Here you have to configure just a time server. If you have connectivity with F5, then you can configure internet connectivity with F5, then you can have global NTP servers also. So you can just type F5 public NTP servers. It will give you. Like you can just, I will just say public NTP servers. These are your public NTP servers. If you want to integrate with internet-based NTP, generally your NTP servers are internal, but still, if you want to configure, how you can configure it, that I'll show you. Because that is critical. So these are your NTP. So just 1 minute, let me go here. I'll check the route, whether I'll just show you if you can configure. Okay, now I'll just check whether I have connectivity from my FI to internet. And then I'll show you how to integrate. Because it's a lab environment, that's why I'm configuring NTP related to. So I'll just say ping. Okay, I'm able to ping. Now I'll check any NTP server, whether I'm able to ping. Let's say this. Ping. Let me take putty. Putty is easy. Sometimes you're not able to copy paste, so always use putty externally. These are small settings, but you need to know how to integrate with Takas. That also will show you. These are the critical components when you give exam also. So now I'll just go into ping. I'll just try to ping. It's showing that it's getting failure. Just 1 minute. Maybe I'll just check. I'll just try this one. So it's giving me failure because why? Because I don't have, if I do NS lookup, it is not getting resolved. So see, what I'll need to do, I need to first configure DNS. So system configuration device DNS. I'll configure one of the DNS server so that F5 has my reachability. Delete. I'll say 4.2.2.2 at. Let's now see. Because to resolve anything, guys, you have to configure DNS. So now I will see whether it can configure. Excellent. Now, will I able to ping? Let's see. Excellent. This is where you can configure DNS name resolution. How F5 can do name resolution? For that, you have to configure first DNS. In DNS, I just go to system configuration device DNS and just add public DNS. Now it's able to resolve anything related to DNS. Also, guys, one more thing. Thanks for this DNS concept. What I would say is, let's say you have F5. Please listen it. You have server, server 2, server 3. All these are hosted in cloud. Now, can anyone tell me cloud servers are static or public? Does they have fixed IP or they are static servers? No, they don't have fixed IP. Now, let's say I want to integrate F5 with name-based servers. Pool members are not IP based, but pool members are based on FQDN. Because whenever you host servers on cloud, it are based on your FQDN. So how you can configure FQDN based pool member? So first criteria is whenever you want to configure FQDN based pool member, you have to integrate F5 with DNS. So that is how you do it. Now, if I want to configure DNS, I have configured it. Now, how to configure pool member based on FQDN? This one I don't cover in normal training because this is a advanced, so I haven't to tell you. So let's say create. Generally, we have seen IP-based pool member. Here you can configure FQDN-based. In cloud, these settings are very, very important. So your pool members can be IP-based and can be based on FQDN. But if you want to use FQDN means it is dynamic because it's hosted on cloud. Cloud are not static. They can change their IP differently. That is called FQDN. For this, you have to integrate F5 with DNS first. F5 should have a reachability with DNS server. That is why I have shown you. Now, if I configure NTP, let's see. System device NTP. I'll delete this and I'll configure with. Okay, I have configured this. Now let's see whether NTP is working fine or not. I need to check the NTP status. So how you can do it, that is also a troubleshooting. So I'll go to this. I'll just make it little large. Now you have an NTP daemon. First, you need to check whether that is running. So how to check any daemon in F5? Show sys service. This is how you can check. So here I want to check particular. I'm getting lot of daemon. I want to check NTP. So I'll go upwards and I will check only show sys service grep NTP. So that is service might be the daemon because that service is the daemon. Now let's check one thing more here. I want to check NTP server. How to check that? Whether reachability is there on NTP or not. Generally, I'll just check without grep. I will check shows his services NTPD. So this is here. You can get that it is enabled, and this is present in this. This is how you can check because in that it was not showing. Now, if you want to start or if it is stopped, you can start the start says service NTPD. I want to stop store sys service NTPD. If I want to start, so I will start again. This is how you can stop and start services. Sometime in troubleshooting, they tell you, please restart the daemon. And if you want to reboot, sometimes daemon want to reboot, then you have to restart like this. Restart says service NTPD. Okay. Now I want to see communication, whether it's happening or not. So for that, this is the command. You have to go to bash, then ntpq minus np. Can you see Google and its star? This will help you to communicate whether F5 can communicate with NTP here. This is, you should get like this output. Otherwise, if it is not reachable, you will not get like this. So it's giving the IP here. So when you have failed NTP servers query, in that case, it will be init status, guys, here. Right now here you can see there is no initialization. I'm getting reach polling. So what does it mean, guys? How you want to see whether NTP is reachable or not? You need to, there are few things which you need to understand here. When your ST means this equal to 16, it means destination NTP is not reachable. This is a code, guys, which you don't need to remember. You can get from Google. When ST in NTP is 16, this is called stratum. It confirms that NTP is reachable or not. When it is 16, it is not reachable. That is first thing. And if you get reference ID, no, not an NTP server here, if you get reference ID equal to init, means your NTP is still not working. So if I do again, it will still show me reachable. Reach means that you are getting value, that system successfully reached the server. And if you get when here, when generally means that you received last response from remote server after how much time. That is important. Reach means that system has successfully reached the server during each of the 8 attempts. If you get value 0 in the reach column, third thing which is important is if reach value equal to 0, it means server is not reachable. So they will keep communicating with each other, guys. 0 means I am not, F5 is not able to reach the server. And this is the successful query, guys. You will get one reference ID. And can you see star here? In your production environment, guys, you will have star plus like this. Let's say star 172.28 4.133. Another plus sign is 172.28 4.134. What does it mean? Let's say you get in remote these IPs. One with star, one with plus. What does it mean, guys? You have done NTP in your previous classes, in Palo Alto and other things. How it is possible? Can anyone tell me what does star means? What does plus means? Star means it's a preferred server. You have in production environment two servers. One is primary, one is backup. So star means it's a preferred server, guys. Okay, this is example of successful NTP server. Now, guys, one question for you, since it's a troubleshooting also I wanted to cover. Let's say when F5 is not able to reach to NTP server, I'll give you fail scenario also. Let me configure one NTP server which is not reachable. How you will troubleshoot? Okay, in that case, I'll configure one more NTP server, system tab, configuration, NTP. I'll configure 10.2.2.30. Now, let me check reachability of this. So I'll again run this command. Can you see? This is the failure scenario. This is success scenario and this is failure scenario. I have wanted to show you both the scenario. If NTP is not reachable from F5, what you will get? You will get all 0, 0, 0. Means when means I'm not able to connect. ST16, I told you ST16, right? Do you remember? ST16 means destination NTP server is unreachable. Now, how to troubleshoot? So, guys, what can be issue when NTP servers are not reachable? Anyone? First issue can be when you want to troubleshoot, guys. First issue is that you have to troubleshoot the network reachability. While pinging, you should have reachable. Okay, first thing is network reachability. Second thing, if any firewall is coming into picture, ensure that firewall rules should be placed if firewall is coming between F5 and NTP server. Might be NTP is placed somewhere else, so you have to configure a rule. Source will be your F5 IP. This is the most important thing which I have seen that NTP issues come when firewall rules are not there, guys. Second, third thing is your NTPD process should be running. It should be in running state. That I have shown you already. Because NTDP process is the process that communicate with NTP server and it uses your management interface. This is how you can check, guys, whether it's synchronizing or not. It will give me. Okay, this is how, guys, you can configure NTP and how you can troubleshoot. These are the only thing which you have to do, nothing else. You can take packet capture also and to see what is happening. You can do that also. And how to see in CLI what are the NTP servers? Go to tmsh. Just run this list is NTP servers. It will give me. So how why it is helpful? I'll show you. This is helpful because I want to see logs related to particular time. This is how it is helpful. Because you are getting someone wants to see logs. If you don't configure NTP in production environment, you will not understand what logs, what time it is happening. So we seen how to configure NTP, how to configure DNS. Now failover command I'll show you later on when we will configure HA today. This is very critical. When you do any critical migration, you have to fail over from F51 to F52, like active, passive. Now another thing which is important is login banner. Why it is important in hardening? How to configure it? Login banner base that welcome to your company name should come when you log in through CLI, and it will say that no unauthorized access like this. So that is what login banner represent. And how to configure login banner in F5. Let's see further on. So there are pre-login and post-login banners, like an advisory banner I want to see. This auditor sees this type of configuration, guys. If he found something, they will report in audit that your device has not configured properly. So I'll go again. I'll show you how to configure pre-login and post-login. So you need to go here, and there is a system configuration tab, device, and then you have SSHD. Here you have to configure. Also, guys, you have to configure this, that after how much time when F5 is idle, I'm saying GUI. This is also critical settings in production environment. If F5 is idle for 300 seconds, no one is trying to do any activity, it's idle. Then after how much time it should get logged out. And it will say show the security banner on login screen and SSH system login. This should be enabled. So I will say welcome to Skilled Inspirational Academy. This is with its device. No one else can access it. Like this. I'll update. Now, one more thing. You need to go to here in preferences. Here also you need to do the same settings. Like bef before logout, how you want to see, here you will get. This is for GUI. This is with its F5. No one can access it. Now, if I log in into Putty, I'll show you. I'll disconnect and I'll log out. Can you see? This one I want. Here it will get. In your company, it will be little bigger. But for us, I wanted to show you. And now when I log in into Putty, can you see? This is how it will get. Welcome to Skilled Inspirational Academy. This is my device. No one else can access. This is how you can configure, guys. You can add notice also. This is for authorized users only. In your company, you will see like that. Like how I'll show you how to configure through CLI. I need to modify this. How to modify. These are settings which will really helpful in production. Okay, let me log in. Now how to configure this through CLI. So this all will be under your sys. So modify sys, then tab, SSD, then banner, it will show me. Enabled, banner, text. Now here you can just notice this is for authorized users only. And just save sysconfig. Okay, let me turn out here, log out, and let me access here again. See this. That is how you can configure. Now, this is post pre-login banners. You can configure post login banner that is not needed, but there is one file. I'll check it whether it's present in our lab. cd etc motd. This is the file. So this file does not exist. You can create it. This is used after login. This is motd process. After post login, you have to configure. That is motd. That is message of the day. If motd, that is called message of the day. So what happened in this? There is a file which you need to create that will give you post banner. So how you can do it? I'll just go. I'll just see cd extra ls minus l. I want to see whether motd is there or not. This file is already there. I want to open it. So how to open this? Through vi editor. Now here I can configure escape insert, and I need to write welcome with it. You can access device. Now, and I've exited. Now let's see what happens. I'll just turn out. Can you see? This is post login. Welcome with it. You can access the device now. This is pre banner. and this is post banner. You can also see colors also, color type banner also you can do. If you want some colors, you can do it colors also. Even advisory banner is there. You can configure one field advisory banner. When I log in, let's see. One more thing, advisory banner. So why we need advisory banner? Anyone knows what is the benefit of banner? So that you can clearly identify that my big IP is a test big IP for test environment to differentiate between your customers. That this is for Oracle, this is for Tata, this is for entity data. That is why. So let's say in your company you have big IP with test environment. You have big IP for QA environment. You have big IP for production environment. So you have to configure advisory banner to clearly identify big IP that you manage in your following environment. So how you can configure that? Here we have already done system preferences. This is the banner which I have configured. And this is you can get it. Even you can also configure maximum HTTP connections to your configuration utility. How much connections someone can initiate. There is one setting, this one, redirect HTTP to HTTPS. What does it means? You can configure this, that if someone types IP also, it can redirect. If someone is not good, not technical, they type IP, it should go to HTTPS. That is also critical setting. I have not tried this option. Let's try. This is very good option they have introduced. Maximum HTTP connection. Can I do one? Let's see. Here it is advisory banner that I'll show you. Just 1 minute. Okay, by default it is giving me only 10. So range can be 10 only. Here is the advisory banner. You can give orange. This is for test environment. For CRNet students. Let's see what it shows. Update. This is very critical for audit purpose. Let's see. And guys, don't worry, this all topics are very critical. Even it's small, you have to understand each option. Many people don't know. If you want to be a good security engineer, if you want to be a good auditor, you have to do that. This is how it will come. In your companies, I'm not sure how many of you have seen this. This is comes to differentiate which big IP is for which environment. Okay. Now, next, let's go further on. We have seen this, we have seen the banners, we have seen NTP DNS. Now, how to reboot the box? Let's say some issue comes in, it's a hardware box. How to reboot it? Shutdown, I have told you. Either you can go in CLI. Just log in. I'll not reboot because it will take some time. I'll show you the command root. This is the command for reboot. REPPOT. Now one more setting which is critical for SSH protection. So just 1 minute. Idle timeout also we discussed. After how much time F5 should get automatic logout, login banner, reboot, NTP, DNS. Now we will see how to configure F5 with first TACAS, means remote authentication server. Then we will see how to integrate F5 with monitoring tool like SNMP, because that are also important setting which you should know. So let's go further on. So when I was talking about the TACAS server, guys, just 1 minute, then we will see opening of case. So when I talk about TACAS server or NTP server, what it means is by default you have F5. F5 can log in through GUI. F5 can log in through CLI. Through GUI, default credentials are admin. CLI, it is root and default. These are the default user when F5 comes in. Now I want to integrate F5 with authentication server because there are thousands of, let's say I have a big company, okay, entity data. I am from entity, okay. Now when I am a SME, I'm working as L3 here. Now, if I want to give access to 10 people from operations, they are working on operations. I want to give access. I cannot give them root and admin credentials. In that case, I will integrate them with TACAS server. I will tell my remote authentication team that, hey, please integrate these users. They want to access. Now, how we can do it? It's very easy. What you need to understand here is you have to go with the users, system, authentication. Here, can you see? By default, it's local, means local, it is giving me access. Now I will change into either LDAP, Active Directory, Radius, or TACAS. So you just need to configure server IP of TACAS. After that, you just need to configure one of the important setting, secret key. Who will provide this secret key? This secret key will be provided by your TACAS admin, whoever is managing your TACAS server. And your service name by default it uses PPP. So you can just go here on help, you will get option. Also when I go into advanced, guys, it will give me authenticate to first server. So authenticate to each server until success. Means if it, can you see this option? What does fallback to local means? Anyone? This is one of the critical setting more. Fallback to local means if the CAS is not working fine, it should use my local credentials. Now here you have to give the role. Let's say I want to give a role and tmsh admin. Finish. And also this password policy, if you want that what should be the password, you can set it. This is very important, guys. From auditor perspective, this password enforcement should be done when you integrate. You have to configure secure password policies. What does it means? There is enforcement restriction that minimum length characters how much it, whether it should be numeric upper in banking environment. When you log in into ICICI, it gives you right that your minimum length required characters, it should be a mix. Minimum number of characters required for a password, it should be uppercase, lowercase. Then there is one password memory. Password memory specifies that for each user account, the number of previous password that big IP retains to prevent the user from reusing a recent password. You sometimes get an error that this was a recent password which you used. You cannot use it. Now, minimum duration after which user needs to change a password. Like in our company or your company, there are 90 days. So it is the minimum duration number of days before user can change their password. Default value is 0. That I'm not setting any days. And there is expiration warning. Like in your company, you get expiration warning, right? Your system password is getting expired. Please change it. Do you get that? Anyone in your company? This is how they do it. Users log out. What happened? This can anyone confirm me? Users log out. User logout means whether to manually reinitiate logout users if they type wrong passwords. Okay, this is how, just 1 minute. This is how you can just update. Since I don't have Taka server, I will not able to see. But one thing more which you have to configure. All this Takas NTP monitoring server traffic will go via which plane? Control plane or data plane? Anyone? So we have two planes. One is management plane. We talked about one is data plane. Can anyone tell me all this data admin traffic will go via management plane or data plane? This is again a critical topic to understand. Please, all everyone, please reply on the chat. This is the admin traffic. How I should do it, this routing. So I told you there are two routes, management routes and TMM routes. We discussed, right? So all this traffic will prefer your management route. So management routes are the route that big IP used to forward traffic through management interface. I want to point this towards management interface. So there is a special routing table in Linux management routing. So how you can do it? You can go here, just go here. I'll just, you have to add a route. Root, root. This is where you have to configure tmsh list sys management route. This is the route for management. Let's say my Taka server is 10.2.2.50 or 10.2.2.70. So I will need to add one route like this. Create sys management route. Then you can give NTP, then network, then your IP address. Or you can copy paste like this. Copy this, copy in notepad, just quickly if you want to do it. Here you write sys management route, NTP, description I don't need. Gateway will be same. My management gateway is this. Network you can configure here. Like uh 10.2.2.0 slash 255, 255, 255. Like this. If you want NTP subnet to route towards it, this is how you can give it. And how do you need to see the management routing table? You can see so sys list sys management route that I have shown you. And how to see TMM routes data. These are your data interface routes. That is the difference between your management route and TMM routes. And if you want to see Linux routing table, kernel level, then run this netstat -rn. This is the kernel IP routing table. Okay, this is how you need to carefully do it. One is static routing, one is management routing. And integration is done like this, which I have shown you, Takas. You can select anything like LDAP, there will be different settings, they will tell you. And Takas, we generally configure secret key, and then you have to just add management route. I'll just show you. Even you want to provide remote role groups. Let's say you have to create roles, role basis exercise you can need to do, like operation stream one role you have to provide, and then you need to provide guest read only. You can configure roles also, read only, read write. Okay, I will give you one example in which case remote role group comes into picture. Please understand. Let's say I'm working in entity. In entity, we have a separate team who manage your LTM. Separate team is for security who manage your WAF. Okay, please understand this. This is managed by my network team. This is managed by my security team. But both of the features are enabled in one box. Now, do you need roles here or not? How you will differentiate and provide permission that security engineers should only get access to F5 WAF. They should also only, so you will need to create a group based access here, guys. So you need to define that thing in your Taka server, remote role groups. Very, very important, guys. They will tell you all this thing. You don't need to remember anything. They will tell you. Okay. Let me see if I found somewhere one article or something where this configuration I can show you. Mostly it's not there, but I'll just do remote role groups F5 configuration. If I found something, generally it's not there, but let me check. I think, yeah, I got it. This is okay, basic role groups. So, guys, I got it. That's good. Let's say you have an Active Directory. In Active Directory, you have one rules for operations, one roles for admins. So you need to add like this group name admin. Then you have to provide member of. They will provide you like dot com domain dot com. They will provide you. This role should be member of which CN. CN is basically a group name, like CN means admins, and role you want to associate administrator. So this is how you can see. Like one role is admin, one role is operators. They are organization unit of groups only. OU domain.com, like this it will show. One assigned role you have administrator, one is operator. They don't have much permission, full access. This is how you can configure remote role groups. This all attribute string will be provided by your Active Directory. AD, if you have integrate F5 with AD or Takas, they will provide you this. Now, SNMP configuration. So we have discussed administrator roles, user roles. User roles is pending, but we have discussed how to integrate F5 with remote authentication server. Now SNMP. Guys, now when we talk about SNMP protocol, SNMP works on which port number? Anyone knows about that? I'm not sure. Can anyone tell me? And what is the definition of it? Simple network management protocol. Does it work on TCP or UDP? I think it works on 161 and 162. They are UDP ports or TCP ports. Let me test your basic knowledge for F5101 exam. Alok, SNMP works on TCP or UDP?
UDP, sir.
There are two ports, 161 and 162. Does it work on 161 or 162?
Like 160, 160, one used for the T.
Now you need to understand basics is critical. Uh, I'll give chance to Vishal.
Sir, 161 is used to send the messages, okay, from SNMP station to the device itself. And 162 is a trap messages. If anything happens between the polling interval, it will send a message to SNMP station.
Great. Now let's talk about SNMP. Excellent, Vishal. Now, so Alok, it works on both 161 and 162. So when I talk about, I'll show you. SNMP, first of all, is a key protocol to retrieve information from your router, switches, network servers. So now we will go further on. SNMP basically have your SNMP manager. Then we have one SNMP agent. When I talk about agent, agent can be your F5, agent can be your router, network router, agent can be your switches, agent can be your firewalls. Why SNMP is used? How it is helpful? Let's say you have a monitoring tool. One example is monitoring tool you can think of. Can anyone give me one name of monitoring tool? Let's say there is, I forgot the name, one name which Splunk is one monitoring tool. There are a lot of tools which is there for monitoring. Splunk is there. Then you have previously there were uh, free tools also available, monitoring tools, but mostly you have Dynatrace, you have PRTG, Grafana, Nagios. So you have many monitoring tools. Let's say I want to integrate F5 with Nagios. How it will do? What things SNMP provides? SNMP provides, guys, if your F5 goes down, there will be alert which will be sent in your monitoring tool Nagios. Like F5 is getting rebooted, your failover happens, that type of logs is provided by SNMP. Like if any failover happens, I want to get an alert in my monitoring tool. If reboot happens, I want an alert. So SNMP works on 161 and 162. And it is a layer 7 protocol. SNMP is used to retrieve information from these agents like network F5 switches. And all your messages are transported via UDP. So 161 port is used when an agent receives request. This agent is receiving request from SNMP manager. That is called 161. When some trap is sent, that uses your 162. So 161, when agent receives request from manager, they will send one request. When SNMP 161 port is used, agent receives request on port 161. And when SNMP reply from agent comes, it will be sent in the form of trap to the manager on 162. That is why they use two ports, 161 and 162. Now, what is agent, guys? Agent is something a software runs on a network. Like you will have an agent on F5. It's a software that runs on your network devices, which you want to monitor. Now, what is manager? A computer you can think of to monitor network. So it's a computer to monitor network that is called NMS. This SNMP manager is also called network management systems. And now there is one more field which comes into picture is MIB. Now you have an SNMP manager and you have to monitor F5. That is SNMP agent. They have some MIBs. OIDs you can think of. So MIB is a collection of managed objects. That is called management information base. It is collection of your managed objects. MIB contains set of questions that SNMP manager can ask the agent. Through MIB, SNMP manager can ask set of questions to F5 that agent can understand. Let's say I want to monitor CPU. So they will send an MIB. So MIB is a management information base which is commonly shared between agent and SNMP manager. So they have a variables, MIB variables. I'm going little advanced, but it is not needed. But still, I am showing you some of the things, how SNMP works. Now, let's say if interface goes down of your F5, major interface which goes down, interface went down. So what it will do, F5 will send one trap to SNMP manager. That is how it works. So there are multiple protocols. Previously it was SNMP. Now you have SNMP v1. Now people are using SNMP v2. That is more secure, guys. So SNMP v1 is version 1 that is configured based on your community string. SNMP v2 is an update to v1. It is more secure. And the latest one which has come is SNMP v3. It is the most secure version. It provides both authentication also and encryption also. That is the only difference. So what you need to do to configure this, let me show you quickly. When you are in operations or when you are in implementation profile, how to configure new F5s. So it's in system tab only. System, SNMP, agents, and configuration. Contact information you can give to whom to contact for this F5. Location you can give data center, US data center, let's say. SNMP access. Now here, what does it mean, guys? Let's say your manager SNMP manager wants to connect. So you need to allow that. Correct. This is the client allow list to whom I can allow to scan my device or to monitor. That is where you can allow. You have to give access to my SNMP manager, right? I have Nagios. I will allow Nagios device here so that it can monitor. I cannot allow all devices to monitor my F5 device, right? I'll gather the IP address of my Nagios SNMP manager that I want to have access of agent running on big IP. So I'll give here list IP address of the subnet which wants to monitor it. Now, this is first setting. After that, I will configure V1, V2C or V3. So what is the difference in V3? They have given both authentication and privacy. It is more secure, but nowadays still people are using V1, V2C. So you have one community access, whether you want read only, read write. So community can be public or private that your Nagios team will give you. And source list you can select. Basically it is all mostly. You don't need much changes here. Community, this will be provided by your community. Community is basically a string which will help you to configure. And OID is what is OID? OID is something. So I'll show you. Go to help. This is where OID is. By default, it is .1. You configure default. And I'll show you one thing. Go to SNMP. You can download MIBs also. They will give you MIBs. For each, you have MIBs data available in F5. Go to MIB, F5, OID list. Like I need to configure something to get data. So you have to give this. This is like your MIBs look like. I want to detect pool status server. This you want to enter here, not here, guys, in your SNMP manager. It is like this. For each alert, there is an OID. So you need to search a OID number. So this is how it is. Like MIB, APM, if you want to monitor APM related alerts. If you want to search local traffic related like virtual server, pools, NAT health, you can get here. That is for your meaning. You don't need to do anything. You have to just configure here. Client list and trap. You have to just allow here traps enabled. So that your device can send a trap if anything goes down. And you have to configure string. Here you can configure .1. That's it. This all settings will be done by your SNMP team, monitoring team. They will give you the community string also. Now, if I ask you what is community string, guys, this question might not be asked, but what is community means in SNMP? Anyone knows? What is community string? This is an important question for theory part. So community string is an security. It helps to provide you a password type configuration to control access to your devices. Without community string, when you do SNMP walk to test F5, you have to perform SNMP walk. You have to enter first security string or community string. Without that, you cannot get an access of your devices. That is called SNMP community string. Okay, that is why community string is being used. So that was for SNMP. Now, last thing, how to open an F5 case. Let's say you are not able to resolve, then I'll have a Q&A and 5 minutes break. After that, we'll start with HA. So how to open a tech case, F5 tech case? What things it's required? Let's say you face one issue which is more than L3. Your L3 engineer can also not resolve any one of the issue. Maybe after upgrade, your system is not coming up. Maybe HA is not building up. When you are not able to resolve, you need to open a service request on the support portal. So everyone has access to this portal. I have given you all access. You just need to go there because the same portal you can use where you have license. Go here, go to support.f5.com. Just sign in. Just 1 minute. Just I'll show you again. You have to just sign in by password. Your email ID, sign in. Okay, let me enter this pass. Another email. Now I'll get an OTP. So I'll just open email and I will get one code. So this is the portal where you can open a case based on the priority level that I'll tell you. This is the support portal from F5. Just copy, enter. Partition user roles are left still that I'll see whether I'll cover first that or whether I'll cover HA. So here you can open a case. Where you get a trial license, here you can open a case. Go to cases. You will create a case. Now, when you open a case, what are the things which will be asked? Please, this is very important, guys. Just select big IV. Tell us about the issue which product. There are a lot of products. See, F5 is not a load balancer. Can you see? It has lot of products in the market. Now I'll say big IP LTMVE version Sentin.1.1. Which version I'm running? Subject F5 is not coming up after upgrade. Description. Here you need to give host name if you want. F5 is not coming up after upgrade. Or it is experiencing high CPU usage after upgrade. So it will give you some suggested solution. Either you can go now, this is critical. Enter the serial number or last digit of registration key. If it's an hardware box, then you have a serial number. If it's a virtual edition, then it has a registration key. Now where we can find that? Can anyone tell me? Now it's a test for you. Yesterday we discussed this. Let's see how much attentive you are in the class. How I can get the serial number, guys, for virtual edition? Mr. Burak, can you please unmute yourself? Yeah, Abhishek, you can go ahead.
Go to system and the configuration.
So you're saying that system, okay, then,
Configuration
okay,
and device.
after that,
In general,
what is the serial number?
oh, sorry, can I please click on the configuration itself? It will come directly.
Again,
Just,
Abhishek, I
yeah,
am
yeah, serial number.
saying is it's a virtual edition.
Yeah,
In
yeah, yeah.
virtual edition,
Got it,
what
got
you
it.
need to give? Yeah, Rashmi, please go ahead.
Yeah, in a license there.
Excellent. So Abhishek, this
Yeah,
is the
you need to click on edit.
excellent.
Yeah, that
This is the key
last.
which you need to end, Abhishek. When if it's a virtual edition, you have to fill the 7-digit serial number. Because in hardware, it's a serial number. In your virtual edition, it's a registration key. Got it, Abhishek? So just enter it. Thank you, Rashmi. Great work. Next. Here you will see it is invalid and out of support because I don't have a support. It's a trial license. In trial license, you don't get a F5 support. If I face any issue, I have to take help from you guys because you are F5 experts. Still, we are not a god. F5 are F5 engineers, they have some experience more in troubleshooting. So in that case, in your production environment, whenever you get a new project, you need to ask them this thing, whether I have F5 valid support contract and how to check that. Either you check from the case note or either there is a good article. Just type F5 license detail. Just go to licensing tool. Product information request. If you want to see that, I will just enter with it. I'll just enter serial number. It will give me the details. I'll get all the details of my license related, that till when do I have valid support contract. I'll show you. This is very useful in production environment. It will give you the details of your product. that whether your license is activated or not activated, you have valid support contract or not. This is how you open. Now click next. For me, I will not able to go next. Once you fill it, you will get information. And there are support number. You can either call them. If it's a P1 case, always call them. How to get call number? F5 support number, India. So contact F5 support, you will get the details. For P1, there are 4 types of cases which I'll show you. One is P1, P2, P3, P4. For P1, always it's recommended. This is the toll-free number. Just call and open a case. P1 is for an outage. When you have a critical outage. P4 is general existence, or you need, let's say you are upgrading a box. You have to open a proactive case. Very important. Whenever you do a critical migration or upgrade, always open a proactive case. Proactive case is required so that in case you stuck in between your migration, F5 will not support you. But let's say you have a migration on 27th of December. So proactive case is something which you can need to open 3 to 4 days before or 7 days in advance. So that in case you have face issues, they can come to help you. They are aware. And that they will ask you one QKView. So QKView is just like a tech support file. I'll show you that. So that is how you can open a case. Now I'll go further on. P2 is for priority 2 when it has intermittent issues. That is where it comes into picture. Now, if I go downwards, I'll show you one thing. There is one P3 case also. But before that, I wanted to show you what is QKView. So this one I have shown you that first you need to log in. You have to submit a serial number or serial registration key and severity level. So these are the severity level. First, P1 will be site down. P2 will be site at risk. 3 will be performance degraded. And P4 is priority for general existence. They will generally ask you a QKView file. How to collect a QKView and what is QKView? So when I go to QKView, guys, it is basically a utility program that can collect your configuration and diagnostic information without you want F5 a remote console. Okay, you don't want F5 to give a remote console. In that case, you can give QKView directly so that they can remove, so they can review remotely. You don't want to share the screen and share something. They will first ask you QKView. Whenever you do any migration or upgrade, QKView and backup should taken before upgrade. These are the two things which you need to take before upgrade and after upgrade. That will really benefit your F5 team. If you don't have this file, F5 will not able to review and customer can escalate that why you don't have taken this. If you're working on F5, you should understand these two things. So QKView is basically a program that will collect all the information configuration from your big IP. That is what QKView. It's like a tech support file for diagnostic tool. So what things it have? When I talk about QKView, what things it have? So it basically will have your snapshot of your configuration, your all log files and diagnostic information. When I talk about QKView is a utility program by default in F5 that will create a snapshot of your all configuration for F5 to review. First thing. Second thing, it will have access to your all log files like LTM logs, kernel level logs. And third thing, it will have your diagnostic information. And where you need to upload that, either on the support case or there is a tool called iHealth. First of all, you need to know how to collect a QKView report. So either you can run this QKView command or either you can go to here. I'll show you how to collect a QKView. Admin, just log in. Just go into support portal in F5 support tab. Here, just click on new support snapshot. See here, it will say generate and upload QKView to iHealth, or you can take external and upload. Just start. Okay, it will take some time. Then it's a very critical. There is a QKView analyzer tool which is available. I'll show you. iHealth. First, you take a QKView, then you just upload in iHealth. iHealth is a tool to analyze your QKView. All the diagnostic information will be displayed like this. Example I'm showing you. Like what are the vulnerabilities which are present in your box? All logs file you can see. Let's say I want to see files. LTM files. It will give you. Logs file. But let me take that. It's once it's downloaded, it will take some time. Then I'll show you how to upload. It is just giving like this. Even you can run some commands also directly. It will give you all config file, bigip.conf. That what are the configuration running on your F5. All the details it will give you. This is very, very helpful, guys. It will give you reporting how much CPU you have, how much RAM you have running on your F5. Even when you are upgrading, okay, when you are upgrading, it will help you in that case also. So it is diagnostic information, tell you if there is any bug in your F5, any vulnerability, critical vulnerability you have. It will give you from how much time your F5 is running, security information, all like this. And you can run commands also, I'll show you. If you want to collect some data, go to tmsh, go to LTM. Let's say I want to run HTTPS related monitors. So it will give me all monitors related to HTTPS. Very, very useful tool. Even you are upgrading, it will provide you when you are upgrading what issues you can face. let's say I want to find top virtual servers which are taking my CPU high. That also it case you can see. There is a report section also you can find in, because it's a beta version right now. They will give you a report, performance related report, 7 days, 1 day, 3 hours. Right now, because I don't have QKView, this is a default. Once it's uploaded, I'll download and show you. It has lot of good information. It will show you how many high vulnerabilities are there, how many medium vulnerabilities are there, how many low vulnerabilities are there. So diagnostic tool to give you inside of F5. That is where it will helpful in troubleshooting also, guys. First you generate a QKView, then you upload on iHealth. And this since I have basically see they have released one new health version on 9 December that I don't have right now. In latest version, they have one upgrade advisor also. When you're upgrading your F5, it will tell you. You can upload QKView and tell you that which version to which version you are running, what can be challenges. That also it will give. That is how useful is iHealth. Now, meanwhile, it gets uploaded, it get downloaded. Let's have a Q&A.